Your dark shirt didn't fade because you wore it. It faded because of what happened to it every single week in the wash. A slow, quiet process that also stretched out your knits, thinned your favorite fabric to near see-through, and eventually had you replacing clothes that still had years left in them. You weren't being careless. You were following a routine that feels completely normal and is, wash by wash, wearing your wardrobe out. In Japanese homes, a clothes dryer is far less common than a laundry pole on the balcony. That one difference, where and how clothes are dried, means everyday garments tend to last much longer. And the reasons are straightforward enough to use, starting with your next load. By the end of this, you'll be able to wash, dry, and care for everyday clothes so they hold their color and shape far longer. No dryer. No dry cleaner needed for most of what's in your wardrobe. Just a different way of doing what you're already doing. Here's the thing though, it's not the clothes. It's not the fabric quality, and it's not you. It's 3 specific things happening to your garments every time you wash them. Hot water fades dye faster than cool water does. It's also harder on the elastic in waistbands and cuffs. The stretch that goes first in a waistband you've washed 100 times in a hot cycle has been fatigued out of it, little by little. That's one. The tumble dryer is worse. Look at the lint you pull from the filter after a cycle. That's not household dust. That is your clothes, tiny fibers abraded off by heat and tumbling. And on top of the abrasion, heat can bake a knit into whatever shape it lands in when it's drying. That's 2. And then there's direct sun. UV light bleaches color out of anything left drying in it. Not all at once, but reliably, every time. That's 3. 3 forces. Heat, abrasion, UV. Once you see them, the fix becomes obvious. Step 1, wash cold. Cold water fades dye less and tires elastic far less than a hot cycle does, for most of what's in your wardrobe. Everyday clothes, knits, anything with a dark or bright color. A cold wash does the job without the damage. You'll need a decent detergent, especially for heavier soil, because cold water works differently than hot. But the clothes that come out of that cycle will hold their color longer than anything you've been washing warm. Step 2, turn garments inside out before they go in. The rubbing and pilling that happens in the drum, the mechanical friction against other clothes, against itself, happens on whichever surface faces out. Turn it inside out, and all of that happens on the side you don't see. The outside, the surface people actually look at, stays smoother for much longer. It takes 3 seconds. It makes a real difference. Step 3, skip the dryer and air dry. This is the one that removes 2 of the 3 aggressors at once. The heat and the tumble, gone. Your clothes hang still, they dry gently, and no fibers are being abraded away. You won't pull any lint from a filter because there isn't one. The shape the garment dries in is the shape it holds. For knits especially, this matters enormously. A jumper dried flat stays the shape it was. A jumper baked in a drum can bake into something else entirely. Step 4, and this is the one that surprises most people, where you hang things matters. Hang your darks and bright colors in the shade, not in direct sun. In Japanese homes, this is called Kageboshi, shade drying. And it's just part of how laundry is done. A shaded, airy spot dries clothes without UV fading the surface. The color you're trying to keep stays. Whites are different. They can take direct sun, which actually helps brighten them. But anything dark or vivid wants the shade. Find the spot in your home or outside where the light is indirect, where air moves through. That's your drying spot for everything with color. Now, the dry cleaner. A label that says dry clean only is often caution rather than a hard rule. Many knits and everyday pieces labeled that way can be hand-washed cold and laid flat to dry without issue. And before you commit to a full wash at all, try this first. Hang the garment in the bathroom while you run a hot shower. The steam releases, wrinkles, and freshens odor without the garment getting wet. For something that just needs a refresh between wears, that's often all it needs. The honest limit is that some things genuinely need a professional. Structured tailoring, certain silks and leathers, anything you're not sure about. Read the care label, and if you can't replace the piece, don't gamble on it. When there's real doubt, take it to a dry cleaner. That's not a failing, that's reading the situation clearly. If you're already watching color go or a shape drift, the switch still helps. It won't reverse what's already happened, but cold wash, inside out, shade dry. Start now and the loss slows. What's left is worth protecting. Behind all of this is something worth understanding because it changes how you think about the whole routine. In Japanese apartments, balcony poles come as standard. The monohoshi, the drying pole, is a fixture of the home the way a towel rack is. The dryer is the exception. Air drying isn't a technique people adopt. It's just how laundry is done. It sits inside something the Japanese call Mottainai, a quiet resistance to wasting what still has life in it. Clothes are cared for so they last rather than cycled through and replaced. Kageboshi isn't a special method anyone had to discover. It's everyday household knowledge. Keep the color out of the UV, let the air do the work, and the garment goes on. The same thinking that keeps a kitchen tool in good shape for decades applies to the wardrobe. Not precious, not complicated, just attentive. The dryer is fast. That's the honest case for it. But it is also one of the hardest things you routinely do to your clothes. It optimizes for speed and accepts damage as the cost. Removing it, washing cool, and drying in the shade takes out all three of the forces that age fabric, for the cost of a little more time and somewhere to hang things. Against the replacement cycle that the other way runs, that's an easy trade. A few things worth saying plainly. Air drying needs space and time, and it needs airflow. A humid room without moving air means clothes may not dry fast enough and can start to smell before they're done. Open a window, use a fan if you need to, and make sure air is actually getting through the fabric. Cold water does not sanitize the way hot water does, and that matters for certain things. Towels, underwear, or anything in a household where someone is ill. For those, hot is still the right call. And again, check the care label before hand washing anything you genuinely miss. The method works for most of a normal wardrobe. Some pieces need a professional, and that's fine. If this changed how you're thinking about the clothes already in your wardrobe, subscribe. Because next week we're going back to the kitchen. The Japanese habit that stops food sticking to a stainless steel pan, no non-stick